My main belief that everything has to be done in the name of God by submitting utterly to the Lordship of His Jesus Christ is the only acceptable reason of living. This poses the question, how could a group with such distinct values become so powerful in the United States and the rest of the world? The reason for the religious right gaining so much power is only because it keeps its true intentions under wraps, using the Republican Party as a cover, where they present themselves more conservative than actually radical. Many people who consider themselves as Christians mistakenly feel this radical religious kind of thinking can be based on shared Christian beliefs, for example, the abolishment of the legislation of abortion or gay rights. Those points have been used to radicalize the radical religious right in the United States, but also in the whole world. The fact that American radicals persist in their struggle until the world is completely purged and free of any adversaries gives many strong believers of Christianity hope and the desire to change the world in God's name, resulting them to support the Republican Party, which becomes more and more influential.
In order to create a clearer picture of the impact religion has on political America, we have researched current news affairs in search of stories in which Christianity plays a key role. After discovering a huge selection, which perhaps highlights the extent of which religion makes appearances within modern society, we have selected a few different issues, each from different sources, in order to create an unbiased account. For example, in an article written for the Washington Post, a leading daily American newspaper, John Bitter approaches the issue of polygamy. The point of the article is to recognise the difficulties in changing the laws which have remained apparent in the American justice system due to traditional religious beliefs. However, unlike the controversial laws of sodomy and abortion, which were initially illegal and later dropped, it would appear that some laws are working against evolutionary thinking in favour of religious morals. Although polygamy has remained illegal, fundamentalists are currently using the traditional American backdrop of freedom in order to fight the case and gain the rights to live in this outdated manner. This is despite obvious concerns for the safety and well-being of community members. For example, young girls are being forced into marriage with older men, as well as welfare for the group members. Sorry.
Carry on.
As well as welfare for the group members, another very important issue has also been raised in this article. The idea that Christian extremists could be entitled to their own ideas on law and justice is a floodgate not worth opening. In a country guided by its political influences, the idea of certain communities being excused due to religious beliefs poses too many problems in terms of inconsistency. Being unable to regulate these laws would mean a loss of control for national laws authorities. However, to dismiss the cultural traditions of these communities means risking the act of hypocrisy in terms of every person's rights of freedom and liberty. In relation to Christianity within politics, it would appear that some of those who hold these extreme religious standings are criticised as really having no place in political leadership, as they themselves are unable to remain neutral for the sake of society as a whole, seen in the following interview by Capital Journal. It would seem that the views of these right-wing extremists are becoming less supported as we progress with new modern leaders and contemporary political ideals of younger generations. A landslide success by Obama in his first election was a surprise to many and could represent the forward thinkers finally keeping up with the efforts of these religious activities. This will hopefully create a better balance and not repeat the years of Republican domination. As far as modern society seems to be concerned, the institute of God and Church has little or no place within politics, current affairs and significant events, whether it represents the cause of disasters, the power behind the law, or the answer to political problems, it seems the majority of the voters and citizens prefer to be guided by common sense and educational decisions with no mention of sin and penance. A reaction of John Snow's comment about natural disasters being linked to ungodly behaviour highlights the sensitivity still surrounding these issues.
So how do they campaign and who do they target? Their main target are children. The Christian Educators Fellowship, otherwise known as CEF, has been responsible for its tremendous success over the past 10 years and are determined to knock down all doors, all the barriers to all 65,000 public elementary schools in America and take the gospel to its own mission field now. Not later, now. In the words of the CEF National Convention in 2010, the CEF wants to operate in the public schools rather than in churches because they know that young children associate the public schools with authority and are unable to distinguish between activities that take place in the school and those that are sponsored by the school. This passage is taught by the CEF and it gives the message that if God tells you to kill non-believers, he really wants you to kill them all, and they teach this to the children, which gives the impression that they want children to believe in what Christians believe, which is that they must believe in God and non-believers should be punished. This punishment could be used to scare these children into believing in God and in the Bible. They are not getting any choice in the matter. Churches also, they are taught that a gay man or the straight man who has fallen prey to a demon. They do not mention homosexuality as being a committed and loving gay or lesbian couple. Fundamental Christians are against homosexuality strongly and do not want any Christians to think that it is right. They may try to pin an image on homosexuality to label it abnormal and self-destructive. They believe gay people are out of order and all of them have AIDS, which is obviously not true. There are many groups and protests which want to spread their message and how they believe. There are a few large ones, US-based Christian organisations whose aim is to cure people from their wrong ways, such as being gay. Exodus International is one example of these organisations, and their aim is to cure homosexuals of their sexual orientation through something called reparative therapy. Exodus is the leading global outreach to churches, individuals and families, offering a biblical message about same-sex attraction. They have different methods of spreading their message, such as the annual 4-day conferences, offering practical teaching, authentic worship and powerful testimonies. There are Exodus books, CDs and other resources on homosexuality from a Christian perspective, monthly newsletter as well to keep people informed of the national and worldwide ministry to the homosexual. Each issue includes a testimony of healing and current events in the post-gay movement. Lastly, they use the media, which means they have the opportunity to publicly proclaim the gospel and to share their perspective of this topic.
In conclusion, we can see that the evolution of the right-wing Christian fundamentalism has created a powerful and influential movement, one which, despite the majority of society recognising the problems concerning discriminating behaviour, has managed to recruit increasing numbers and members and followers. With an increasing interest in political matters, the movement has gained new outlets for the purpose of preaching their beliefs. With media influences, as well as the ability to communicate globally, the world of fundamentalist movement is reaching further than ever before. The echo of militants is also ever increasing within fundamentalism and has brought elements of aggression and forceful strength into their determination to control the masses into conversion. Although they choose to hide behind names such as evangelicals in order to disguise the negative persona, they continue to push their teachings with force, in some cases violence and terror. It would appear that the continuation of movement is becoming a more serious threat to society the more it is recognised. For this reason, we are unable to predict where the future generations will carry and manipulate the traditional word of Christianity for their own gain.